and I think we can take some questions.
Sir, Mr. Ucci, my name is Pat Ford, Coalition Radio Network. I happen to personally, I drive an electric gas hybrid, a 2016 Ford Fusion. Gets over 40 miles per gallon in a full-size car. I belong to ChargePoint, and I use them somewhat frequently. The question is, a entry-level equipped Nissan Leaf, stickers at about $27,500. Take off $3,000 or $4,000 in your generous rebates, add sales tax, and you're looking at an average car payment of about $500 and change a month. On top of that, I'm assuming these charging stations, as they are in most cases, are not going to be free. Who in the working class community, in this neighborhood, for example, is in a position to a $500 to $600 a month car payment? And isn't this really geared towards what some would say greenwashing?
No, I really strongly disagree. As I mentioned, we intend to provide additional incentives for income qualified Rhode Islanders, nonprofits that are serving the community. We previously had an electric vehicle rebate program funded at much fewer dollars. That was an incredible success. So we know there is demand out there in the community. We have
demand in the community, but it's demand largely from upper middle class and above. Isn't this really virtue signaling? I mean, what kind of car payment do you assume that most people in this neighborhood can afford?
We acknowledge that $1.25 million are not going to solve climate change problems in Rhode Island. And that's why the governor has tasked the EC4 to create an environmental justice committee, which will help advise our state agencies and the community on finding new and innovative strategies to help address climate change in our frontline communities.
Final question, why not just lower the gas tax and make it easier right now for every Rhode Islander rather than this sort of
Pat, let's keep
cosmetic
these
approach?
focused on this program. We can take some sidebar questions. Is there any other question related to this announcement? Do you know about how much the rebate will be? Is there an estimate?
Sure. As I said, for new purchases or leases, the rebates will be up to $2,500. We have tiers involved for a plug-in hybrid, for example, which is still important and a great way to reduce carbon emissions. There'll be a reduced incentive, $1,500.
Slightly off topic, but just knowing how high gas prices are right now, why should Rhode Islanders maybe that haven't considered getting an electric car maybe think about it?
Sure. I think we heard some testimony from our host about the reduced cost of transportation utilizing electric vehicles. And it's also a great way to support and help your neighbors, right? I mean, we know that a significant amount of our portion comes from the transportation sectors, especially in urban dense communities like where we're at today. And so adopting an electric vehicle not just might help reduce your transportation costs, but also help public health challenges in your community.
Hi, I'm Mr. Ucci, Mary Suarez. Has there been any thought to giving rebates for electric bicycles?
Not at this point, but that's a great idea, and I'm sure that's something we'll take back and talk about with the EC4. Thank you.
Will there be any rebates for infrastructure at the home? I mean, if I have an electric car, I'm going to need a charging port at my house, and I assume that costs money to install.
Sure. Well, many electric vehicles can utilize, have a plug-in, utilizing the home outlet. As the governor mentioned, he's proposed a $23 million investment to expand our EV charging network across the state. We know that the federal government has a priority along interstate corridors, but we believe we have some flexibility beyond that to invest in charging infrastructure across the community. So there'll be more details to come on that in the coming weeks.
Is the company we're going with?
No. There are other companies who also build and install electric vehicle charging stations. We're not in the business of selecting one over the other. That's a decision best left to the entity installing the station.
And you said April 7th was the public input time frame. Do you know about when people could start, like an estimate of when people could start applying for the rebate?
Sure. We have the program largely written as we envision it. But we know that we don't have all the answers, and so we really wanted to take the time to go to the community and solicit some feedback. We anticipate that the public comment period will be about 30 or 45 days, and we are committed to opening this program this summer.
Any other questions? For Rhode Island, do you know just as a population how many people drive electric cars in the state versus other areas? Is this rebate program trying to boost that?
Yes, absolutely trying to boost that. I'll ask my staff if we have that number handy. If not, I can get it to you.
And then you said these rebates are based on income. Some of these rebates for homeowners or for people, working people What are the thresholds for that?
Sure. What we're thinking of proposing is qualification if you participate in a state or federal income qualified program. We're also looking at potentially having self-attested income levels. We know that many who participate in programs like that, for a lot of variety of reasons, don't want to provide that information, and so we're looking at other ways in which we can connect the community to the benefits of this program.
And then this one may be for the governor. Where's this $23 million coming from? Is this ARPA money or is this from general fund?
It's federal money, but it's not from the opera, I believe. Isn't that right? Or
Right.
Is that, yeah.
And infrastructure.
Yes, it's infrastructure dollars that are designated towards this type of use.